Hey there, John Paulus here, and I just drew card 17 of Life's Potluck Buffet. Card 17 is everything that happens to us is only partly our doing. There's no amount of plotting and planning that will result in us navigating our world exactly as we think we want to. Get in your ship, set a course, weigh anchor, and open your heart to the idea that you've been in the right port at the right time before, and you will be again. Name an unexpected opportunity that you said yes to that changed things for you. The first, I could think of one, right? Well, let you think for a moment about an unexpected opportunity that you said yes to that changed things for you. So think about that for a second. An unexpected opportunity that you said yes to that changed things for you. I could think of one right off the bat. I had applied to be part of a cohort of a particular program for businesses and business people, and I didn't get into that program, but the person who was coordinating it also was involved with a different program that they called me one day and said, hey, we have this program that you might be interested in because you were interested in that other program. And they told me about it, and I immediately applied for it, and the program really changed my life. The people I met in that program, I just think it was just a fabulous program. And that is the kind of moment of saying yes that I thought of right away. What I first thought of was moments of saying no, because I guess, I don't know, maybe that's how my mind works. I think of opportunities that I was offered a long time ago that I didn't take, and then I think, well, if I had taken those, what would my life have looked like now? And I'm thinking of some opportunities in financial sector, some opportunities in the early days of tech, an opportunity in the world of music management. Those are helpful to think about, because I think sometimes when we think about the opportunities that we said no to, there's time in our lives to say yes to them again. So if you had something a decade ago or years ago or days ago that you thought of that you had said no to, but it kind of, I don't want to say weighs on your mind, but something like that, where you actually think about it once in a while, or maybe a lot, that might be your mind telling you that there's an opportunity there for you, and maybe you should think about what that means. I'm not saying it means that that particular opportunity was right for you. I'm not a big believer in that kind of second guessing yourself, because that can be very debilitating, especially in the world of work, because there are opportunities that we have in life that for at that time and that place, the answer for us was a no. And that honoring that is actually more important to me than saying, well, what if that had happened? That's a road that you could go down that could be very unhelpful for your work going forward, because it introduces that element of self-doubt, and it says you're basically telling yourself, well, I'm not a very good decision maker. I should have said yes. That you felt the way you felt for a reason, and the best lesson to learn from that is to think about, well, if I keep on going back to that decision that I said no to, why did I say no at the time? And what am I thinking about now that I need to say yes to in maybe a relation to that decision, or maybe it's something else, and that moment of decision is just simply that, a moment of decision that you're returning to think about. If you thought of things that you had said no to first rather than things that you had said yes to, then understand that that is simply how a lot of people reflect on decision making. And it also means that there may be things that you're thinking about in related areas or related ways, or in the very area that you said, well, no, my work doesn't need to be here at the moment, that you might need to say yes to at some point. So that's a very helpful thing to think about. And this card really is about that decision-making process. It also introduces and honors the idea of luck and fortune. The idea of fortune and luck is something that especially in the United States, I have to say, there's a brand of thinking about your work going forward that really emphasizes how, in control of your own destiny you are, how you make your own destiny. You've heard people say these kinds of things. The truth is, we don't make our own destinies. This card gives us an idea of how things really work. You get in your ship, you set a course, you weigh anchor, and you open your heart to the idea that you've been in the right port at the right time before, and you will be again. So that's where for me, that's where the element of your will and your thinking about what your future will be like happens. What kinds of waves you face, what kinds of winds you face, whether they're adverse winds or favorable winds, what happens on the ship in terms of the parts of the ship and its own seaworthiness, what happens with the folks on the ship with you, who are helping you get where you need to go. Those are all things to think about and understand that that's about what we can do. Setting a course is where our element of this formula comes in. The part that other people are in control of, and the part that circumstance, happenstance, fate, destiny, however you want, luck, however you want to see it, fortune, misfortune, those elements are ones that we're simply not in control of, as I think we all have learned over the last few years. And by understanding that there are external forces that are out of our control, the forces of fortune, misfortune, luck, happenstance, circumstance, chance, destiny, however you'd like to think about it, we can understand what is in our control. And furthermore, if we add to that what we know to be in other people's control, and this is important, especially when you're thinking about your interactions with others, in terms of interviews and jobs and business deals and all of these things where there are other parties involved whose own ships are sailing in a certain way that they've set them on, and that you have no control over those ships. When we think of it that way, we begin to really understand in a subtle way how we can guide our ship through these seas. And in understanding that, there's liberation. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe. And if the winds of destiny blow your browser into the port of lifespotluck.com, take a look at the shop there. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next time.